Hey everyone, welcome to Podcast Demastered. I'm your host, Ethan Meyer, and I'm joined, as always, by my two very good friends, Chelsea and Wade. And today is our holiday episode. We talked about it, we teased it last week on our last episode. We told you that we were going to do a holiday episode instead of a holiday month. So here it is. This is the episode. This is our...
Woohoo!
This is the...
We made it.
'Tis the season to be podcasting about holidays, I guess.
Yep.
So yeah, today we're gonna talk about what we think makes a Christmas movie. We're also gonna each talk about our personal Mount Rushmores for our favorite Christmas films, and then we're gonna kind of talk about some Christmas memories related to entertainment media, some way or fashion, and then we'll kind of bounce around the crux of the holidays. So we're just gonna dive right in here. Wade, I want to start with you. What in your opinion is classifies a Christmas movie?
I think, to me, a Christmas movie, really, it doesn't have to just, take place at Christmas. I think a lot of people will define Christmas movies like, oh, there's Christmas in it. I think it has to, symbolize some kind of lesson or positive characteristic, usually, of Christmas. Because usually when you watch a Christmas movie, it's something that, it's like you want to have a feel-good movie, typically. Right. Something that embodies the spirit a little bit, you know. That's how I've always kind of thought about it.
Yeah, because a perennial classic that's always played during the holiday season is "It's a Wonderful Life," but that movie doesn't actually take place during on Christmas, right? It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's just it's in the winter because there's snow, but it's not an actual Christmas thing. It's more just him trying to appreciate the life he has.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Whereas on the flip side, you have a film like Gremlins or Die Hard that also takes place during the season, but there isn't that that uplifting message at the end. I mean, I guess Die Hard's uplifting, fighting terrorism, I guess. It's very, I guess, patriotic.
Gremlins teach us not to feed the gremlins after midnight, so that's kind of uplifting. Like a cautionary. It's like Krampus. It's like a cautionary tale.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I completely forgot Gremlins takes place at Christmas.
There's a shocking number of films that take place during Christmas that aren't, I would say, Christmas movies. I
mean, Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3, yeah. Iron Man... Almost anything Shane Black writes or directs is a Christmas... has a Christmas setting, I guess. But the setting doesn't necessarily mean it's a Christmas film. I wouldn't watch it to put myself in the holiday spirit. I wouldn't turn on Die Hard to decorate my tree and to be, you know what I mean, get all merry and holly jolly and feel, goodwill to my fellow man.
I might watch Gremlins for that, though, to be honest. If I'm being 100% honest, I might watch Gremlins for that.
Chelsea, with that being said, what makes a Christmas film for you?
Yeah, I think you guys have covered parts of the things that I think make a Christmas film to me. I mean, realistically, I'm not that picky, and I'm not really gonna tell everybody, this is the ultimate standard. But for me, I personally measure it based off of, that it takes place around Christmas, deals with Christmas-type elements or characters, or just embodies the Christmas spirit. However, I think it's really great that there's certain movies that people do watch that may not necessarily be directly about Christmas or anything, that's just rooted in tradition or, just they think has the holiday fun. And I think that's really great because I love Christmas and I think it's a great time of the year. And I'm just that wholesome person that
just
is happy that people are enjoying Christmas the way that they want to.
What are some of your Christmas characters that have to be in a film to make it Christmas? You got to have the big guy. You got to have Santa in the film to make it a Christmas movie.
I mean, he could definitely be one of the characters. That's not like the only type of movie I'll watch, but yeah, like that's one of the characters. Santa, Rudolph, Frosty the Snowman, some elves,
Some elves. So Lord of the Rings would be a Christmas movie. It's got elves in it.
Yes.
For some people, I think it is. So I'd say go for it.
I mean,
it's not one of my top Christmas movies.
all those movies came out in December, or usually the week of Christmas. So I'm sure that was a tradition for some families to go see Lord of the Rings around the Christmas time.
Yeah.
It's actually like a big time of the year for film releases. It's like you got your summer tentpole blockbusters, and then you got November and December for like your second round of big films. It's kind of been like that for quite some time now. What are some of the films that you know of that are like maybe be like traditional or nostalgic, but you wouldn't necessarily watch them for Christmas?
As in because we don't like them, or just because?
Either or.
Okay. I feel like, there's the Charlie Brown Christmas. It's a classic.
Do you not like Charlie Brown?
No, I don't like Charlie Brown.
You don't like... I mean, to be fair, nobody likes Charlie Brown, actually. I mean, it's just a blockhead. Nobody likes poor Charlie.
Yeah. It was just something that my family never really watched or really cared enough for. I know it's very near and dear to many people's hearts. Yeah,
that's blasphemy in some households.
Yeah, well, there's other movies that are blasphemous that I probably don't like too, so we'll get to those probably.
That's fair. I love Charlie Brown. I pretty much watch all the... Well, I guess I just watched the Halloween and the Christmas. I don't really watch Charlie Thanksgiving, and then I'm pretty sure he has like maybe like a Veterans Day one or something about voting or some shit. I don't watch that one either. So just the Charlie Brown Christmas and the Great Pumpkin. But that's more just like rooted in like nostalgia and like tradition in my house. Christmas movies for me is it's got to put me in a mindset that I don't exist in throughout the rest of the year. Like if I watch a Christmas movie, it's to kind of like put me in a better place. You know what I mean? So like watching something like Die Hard or Gremlins or some shit, like that's just like another movie for me that I watch throughout the rest of the year. That's not going to put me in like a Christmas spirit. And then it's also, there's a lot of the Christmas movies that I like are very are nostalgic. It's something that I just grew up with. And then a Christmas movie for me is also something that sort of relates to like my family and how I feel about the holidays, I guess. And like I'll watch it and I'll be like, oh, like it's relatable, I'll be like, oh, this reminds me of my dad during the holiday, or this reminds me of this, or this is authentic and for how my family does the holidays. So that's kind of how I view some of my holiday films. And it'll become obvious once we actually get into the Rushmore. So we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and segue into that. Does anyone want to go first? How do you want to do this? You want to do like round robin? You just want to one person at a time just list their whole four? Like how do you guys want to go about this?
I'm okay with round robbing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Wade, you start us off then. So
okay.
We each take a turn. We'll name one film and then 4 films each.
All right, so my first one, or so number 4, I guess, I put as Home Alone.
Yep, nice.
Yeah, pretty classic. I mean, it's a good time, makes you feel good. There you go, violence.
Violence.
Yeah.
A staple in holiday films, violence.
Oh yes, absolutely. Just a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, I love Home Alone. It's definitely a film that I would say that I probably watch every year. It's also because it's just blasted over every channel and streaming service, and like you cannot escape the Home Alone fever. It's
True.
It's everywhere. But yeah, that's a good film. Chelsea, what about you? Don't tell me you hate Home Alone. We're in this podcast right here.
It's not my favorite. Don't really like it
There
that
it is.
much. There you go.
There it is.
There
I
it
said
is.
it.
All right, guys, tune in
There it
next
is.
week when.
Well, maybe I should preface this by saying I absolutely love the Christmas season and everything about it, but this was actually kind of tricky coming up with movies because I feel like even growing up and even kind of now, I didn't really watch like all the like classic Christmas movies, or it wasn't something that my family was always doing. I feel like my family was busy doing other things. We're really involved in church, so we're working on like, the next church production for the Christmas season, or out doing stuff, ice skating, whatnot. So my list will, you might agree with some of my things on my list, but you might also hate some of them on my list.
Well, now that's intrigue right there, folks.
So I'm
There
going
you
to pull
go.
out the popcorn, and these two are going to just continue doing what they're doing. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Well, but you said you want me to, I'll pick one. I actually have It's a Wonderful Life on my list. And I'm pretty sure at the end of that movie, it does take place on Christmas Eve.
At the end of the film?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's when everybody's celebrating and stuff. But that's not the reason. I mean, I think it's a really good film. It's really well done story. It does have that feel-good ending, but it definitely kind of goes on a roller coaster of emotions. Great story, so...
What's
definitely deserve it.
What's the guy's name? Mr. Potter, right? Isn't that the quote-unquote villain of the film, Mr. Potter?
Yes.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. But yeah, that's definitely a traditional like Christmas film, Like if you were to make like Google the top 25 Christmas films or whatever, like that's going to show up 9 times out of 10 on that list. So
Yeah. That was definitely not one I watched with my family, though. It's definitely one I've watched in recent years.
right.
But I do really like it.
Yeah, it's good. It's one of my dad's like go-to. Like he loves that film. So it's definitely like I feel like that's a generational film for sure. Like a certain like our parents' age and their parents like definitely have that is more of a staple, whereas like our generation's like your Home Alones and stuff like that. So
Unless you're me.
yeah, unless you're Chelsea and she's on her mountaintop writing down Christmas judgment on all us sinners. Just watch Christmas
I'm
movies.
sharing
for a whole
Christmas
month.
love. I'm just slightly judging, but,
It wouldn't be the Christmas season without some judgment.
Well, as Wade said, violent, so...
Yeah, we got violence and
Take your
judgment.
pick.
We're 10 minutes into our holiday episode. We have violence and judgment.
What are you going to bring to the table,
Tis the
Ethan?
season, folks. So since these aren't in any particular order, so I'm just going to start from the top. This is a film that I will watch only around this time of year, and I pretty much watch it every single year without a doubt, and that's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I absolutely love that film. It's not only something that puts me in the holiday spirit, but I think it's also just great commentary on the season itself, and like the idea of like you're getting excited to see family, and then as soon as all that happens, you're like, oh shit, when are these people leaving? Like, when is the season gonna be over? So it kind of is the dichotomy between the two. It's hilarious. I love everything about that movie. It makes my heart sing. So yeah, I love it. It's such a great Christmas movie. There is a lot. There's a lot of positivity in it, but it is just I think it's a typical.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a lot of positivity in it.
Guess I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, you're too busy directing theater and bake drives and shit and ice skating. You need to watch more National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation every year.
No, that was something. No, that was something my family never did. No, I'm out there in the community. That's where I'll be. I'll continue to be.
Oh gosh.
Wade, what were you saying?
This year for our winter concert, we actually played the theme song for Christmas Vacation.
Oh, dude.
It was a really good arrangement. We had a really good time with it. Might have scarred some kids with it, but hey, who knows?
It's
kind of hard.
Every time I just see that film, I'd automatically like hear that and just like see the intro of that film and like hear that music playing. Like it's automatic.
Fair point.
It's like an earwig. All right, Wade. What's your next one?
Oh, number 3. Okay, so I have the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I love
the.
We had it on VHS
music.
growing up, and I watched it like 20 times every December. I loved it so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that one. It's not my favorite iteration of A Christmas Carol, but it's the Muppets. I love the Muppets, so I watch it every year. I love the music in it. Michael Caine does a really good job as Scrooge.
Right.
But yeah, that's definitely something that for sure I watch every year. In fact, I've already tried watching it with Atlas. He was not impressed. So.
Aww.
He doesn't do well with live action. He doesn't like real people. Everything needs to be cartoons and singing all the time. So we're working on it.
Good luck.
All right, Chelsea, what do you hate about the Muppets? Go ahead and destroy my other childhood love.
No, I don't hate anything about the Muppets. I honestly, I think it's been a very, very long time since I've seen that, but that's definitely on my list of something that I would like to watch again soon. So I may watch it in the next week, to be honest, and I have nothing negative to say.
It's on Disney Plus. That's our sponsor for this episode.
We wish.
Right, give me the Disney money. All right, Chelsea, what's your next one?
Well, my next one is animated. Maybe you can have Atlas watch this version. Mine is Mickey's Magical Christmas, snowed in at the House of Mouse. So that special has a couple different shorts in it, which includes a Mickey's Christmas Carol and the Nutcracker.
I've seen Mickey's A Christmas Carol. I don't think I've seen Nutcracker. I didn't really watch a whole lot of like Mickey and like Disney cartoons growing up. Oddly enough, they never really like I've definitely seen Mickey's Christmas Carol, but not enough to even like recognize anything from it. Like I can't picture anything from that film.
Oh, it's so cute. Tiny Tim in that and everything. It was just something my sisters and I definitely grew up watching. We had that on VHS and watched that a lot. And
yeah,
it's our Mickey Disney cheer.
Yeah, I figured there'd be some Disney splattered in there somewhere. So get that out of the way now.
Just a little bit.
Splattered.
There you go.
In there. Some Disney splatter.
Gosh.
Gross.
I didn't say Walt Disney splatter. That's gross.
Well, that's not helpful either.
No, that escalated.
That's what I'm here for. All right, moving on. So the next one on my list is another film that I like for the same reasons why I like Christmas Vacation. Is A Christmas Story. I absolutely love that film. I think it's hilarious. It reminds me more of my family in some regards. And yeah, I think it's also just kind of rooted in nostalgia because I've been watching it since I remember watching TV. So, but yeah, it's like without question, I know I'm going to watch A Christmas Story every year. It doesn't necessarily put me in a holiday spirit, I guess, but it feels odd if a Christmas goes by and I didn't watch it, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I'm missing something if I haven't seen that film.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I get that.
But yeah, I also know that they blast that thing on like every channel. These like 24-hour long marathons all day long, yada yada yada. So I'm sure a lot of people are just like done with that film, but I love it. It's such a good time. It's so funny. I actually, when I went to Cleveland a few years back with my sister, we like toured the house that it was filmed in and did the whole like touristy A Christmas Story like breakdown and everything. It was awesome.
Very nice.
So super fan over here.
All right.
So, all right, Wade. What's your next one?
My next one, number 2, is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version.
Yeah, I just watched that. Well, I've been watching it in pieces for about a week now, so I catch different parts of it on TV for like the past week.
Nice.
So, but yeah, that's another good one.
No, I really like that one.
Yeah, that film is surprisingly better than it has any right to be. So.
No, sorry.
No.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You can judge.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
What do you not like about
I did.
it? I want details. Give me your top 5 reasons why you don't like it.
I don't really like comedies. I just don't really like The Grinch. It's just I like the very classic, like original cartoon version. That's pretty short. I think that's a problem with a lot of these Christmas movies. I don't really like comedies, so I don't like most of these movies because they're not funny to me.
You heard it here first, folks. Chelsea does not like to laugh.
I like to laugh at sophisticated comedy.
Sophisticated.
And a couple
Sophisticated comedy.
Okay.
What's your favorite sophisticated comedy?
It doesn't exist. I don't know. I just have very particular taste, and yeah, most comedies are just not funny, but there are a couple, and they are pretty stupid, that I do enjoy, but unfortunately, or fortunately, none of those are mine.
What's a stupid one you like?
Well, do you want my next pick for Christmas movies?
Yes.
The Santa Claus 2.
2?
Ooh.
Yes.
The second one's really good.
Yes, it is.
I'd probably put that one over the first one myself.
Yeah, it's also because, he's more established as Santa. It's actually a pretty good, it's like a fun story compared to the first one. The first one's pretty much of a downer, and it's pretty dark. Not that it's not a bad movie, per se. But the second one, I love the scene where they're at the faculty Christmas party. That just brings me so much joy. When they get the presents and they just have a good time with all their classic toys. It really makes the movie.
See, I love the first one because the first, hour is so just like sarcastic about everything. And then the last 30 minutes is like, oh yeah, okay, I guess I'm Santa and I'll love my son and everything's happy. But that first hour is like what makes that film great. He's like he's not quite a shit dad, but kind of a shit dad. Yeah, that first movie is brilliant. The last 2, or the third one. My God, the third one is unwatchable.
We don't need to talk about that one.
And the second one is basically just like, it's just like it's just like a on rails Christmas vomit ride. So.
Which happens to be my thing, apparently.
That's... And it's not funny at all, so it's right up Chelsea's alley.
It has a moment.
Damn.
Oh. Yeah.
All right, well, my next one is also a comedy. But it's also a musical. Give me all your hot takes on musicals, Chelsea. Let's get them out of the way now.
I don't have hot takes on musicals. I'm just afraid of which one you're going to say.
Just to make this interesting, which one do you think I'm gonna say? Mm-hmm.
Well, now I'm questioning if I'm going to pick the right one. Is it it's an older movie that's a classic?
Yes.
You know, maybe you should just share it with everybody. I'm not going to guess.
It is White Christmas.
Okay, it is the one I was thinking. Okay.
I love White Christmas. It may be one of my favorite Christmas films ever. I watch it every year. I love the music. I love that it's not a total just like shove Christmas down your throat kind of film. And that's more of just kind of like a secondary layer. And it's more just, I don't know, just a good time. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's one of the few musicals that I can watch pretty regularly and not get tired of it. So yeah, White Christmas.
There we go.
Go on, Chelsea. What do you hate about it?
It's just not very good. I watched it recently. It was just...
It's just not very good.
No. I just don't get the charm. I guess some of the dancing's nice, but the story, everything.
You don't like the routine of choreography?
No.
I can just hear that in my head. I'm humming that right now. I'm not gonna hum it for you listeners, sorry.
I guess I'm the Scrooge of Christmas movies.
Yeah, for someone who just loves Christmas cheer, sure is shitting all over it.
Oh, the movies. I love every other part of Christmas.
You love judging Christmas.
No.
All right, Wade.
Yeah.
What's your we're on our final ones, right? Yeah. What's your final?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
My final one is, this will come as no shock to anybody who knows me, but The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, I was like, is there a Spider-Man Christmas movie I'm not aware of?
Nope. Not that I know of. But no, it's
Not yet.
that.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Yep.
You know, I never watch that during Christmas. I always watch it at Halloween. Even though it's arguably more a Christmas film. I only watch it at Halloween.
It's good October through December in all equal parts, so there's no problem there.
That's fair.
No worries.
Chelsea, you like that, right? That's Disney. You can't hate Disney.
Well, it's Tim Burton. It's fine.
Disney paid for it.
It's fine. It's not one of my favorites, but it's just
not one of your favorite. What? All right, give me your top 5 reasons why you hate Nightmare Before Christmas.
I didn't say I hate it. I just said it wasn't like my top favorite. It's just, it's a movie. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. I can deal with fine.
Yeah. I'm not judging you, Wade.
Yeah, good.
I'm honestly a little surprised that there was a certain movie that you didn't have in your list, just because it seemed like a movie that you might like, but maybe not. Maybe it's an honorable mention.
What's that?
What is it?
Elf.
Okay, so here, you ready for a hot take from me?
Yes.
Let's
have it.
So there you go.
You hate Elf?
Join the club.
I hate Elf.
Thank you.
See, I really like Will Ferrell, but it kind of just depends. With his movies with me, and it's Elf or not, it doesn't make any difference. I either love his movies or I despise them. His comedy is so hit and miss for me. Like, it's either beautiful or I'm like, this is so immature, I cannot handle this.
What's one of your Will Ferrell movies that you love?
I like The Other Guys.
Oh God.
So there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Will Ferrell comedy fan. Like, I don't like The Other Guys. I don't like any of the films he did with John C. Reilly, like any of that Ricky Bobby, Step Brother bullshit. I don't like any of those movies. I do like Elf. I think it's better than than even they thought it was going to be. I also love that it's basically a riff on the Rankin and Bass classics to the point where they were getting sued for it. So there's a lot of interesting elements on like just how that movie was made and the filming of it that I really like. But yeah, it's not one of my like have to watch go-to holiday films, but if it's on, I'll watch it. It's funny enough. It's not totally too far in Will Ferrell's corner where it's like dumb, I guess. Like overly dumb. More so than just normal Will Ferrell dumb.
I guess.
It's the dumb I don't like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say though, I have seen Elf the musical, and I think it's also because it was a musical and it didn't have Will Ferrell. It was actually quite enjoyable.
I want to see Elf the musical with Will Ferrell.
No.
I want Will Ferrell to play every role. A one-man show of Elf.
Jesus Christ.
Singing
You
every
can enjoy that.
Make it
He is
happen.
the most pettiest person on this planet.
That would be interesting. I want to see that. A one-man stage production of Will Ferrell singing every part.
No, because if he does it, you're gonna get John C. Reilly in there too. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Probably.
You can have it, but you're gonna have John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly probably plays Santa. Yeah.
No, he's every elf.
He's every elf.
Yes, he's every elf and every female character.
Oh God. All right, now.
Oh,
There you go.
okay. No.
Those are my terms.
Now we can cancel it.
Thank you.
Now we can cancel it. Never got off the drawing board.
Where it belongs.
All right, Chelsea, what's your final?
Well, you did mention Rankin and Bass, and I do really like Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Yeah, I like not all the Rankin and Bass ones. There's a couple that are I just can't get through. But yeah, I do like Santa
They're
Claus is Coming
unique.
to Town.
Yeah.
I like that style though. I love like stop motion animation. But yeah, those are also I didn't put any of those on my list just because I always just think of them as like TV specials, even though most of them are like feature length. I just never really I don't know. When I think of like Christmas movies, I never like think of any of those. Just like Charlie Brown and stuff like that. I always just think of those as like just like a TV special over a film, I guess. But no, I pretty much like all the Rankin and Bass stuff. Santa Claus Coming to Town and A Year Without a Santa Claus and Rudolph and The Life and Times of Santa Claus and all that stuff.
Yeah, those
like
are always
Jack-
a good time.
I like Jack Frost. Yeah. I don't really like Little Drummer Boy, and I don't really like Nestor, the long-eared donkey. Both of those are. Nestor.
I forgot about that one.
Nestor is more a comedy to me because it's so fucking bad. Dialogue is terrible, and it's just so damn dumb that it's more of a thing that I would just sit back and have a drink and laugh at. Which I think that's also my dad's favorite one, or one of his favorite ones. So he never liked that fact, and I always laughed at it when we watch it. But whatever. Do you have a ranking for those films? Like Santa Claus is Coming to Town is your top. What's like your top 3 Rankin and Bass films?
I mean, that's definitely my favorite of them. I do like Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
And I like parts of Rudolph, but I've watched it again recently and it doesn't quite have that charm that I thought it had when I was a child.
That film also just doesn't like age super well with a lot of its like.
No, it wasn't. Don't, but it's.
Like it's. I don't know. That film's special.
It's. Yes, that is the perfect word to describe that film.
It's like it's definitely a film for its time, I guess. It's the best way to put that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Did you ever watch? I actually saw this last year during COVID, and it was in the summer, but it was Rudolph and Frosty Christmas in July. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
Do yourself a favor. Watch Rudolph and Frosty Christmas in July. First off, it's like 2.5 hours long. It's like an epic.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like fighting like a fucking warlock who's trying to get Rudolph's powers. And he has like a sleigh that's powered by like snakes and shit. And then there's like a circus involved. They're trying to like kill Frosty. And then Jack Frost is in it. Like it's like the Infinity War for the Rankin and Bass universe.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Do I even dare watch that?
Yes, you need to watch it. It is something special.
Oh man.
It is amazing. All the cameos. It is. It's a hot mess. I couldn't peel my eyes away from it. I was just like, what am I fucking watching? What is this movie? Why is this 3 hours long? Yeah, definitely watch Rudolph and... Sorry if that's anyone's favorite, but that movie is rough. I don't know what they were going for with that. I don't know what they were trying to do. It was like some like Rudolph Lord of the Rings kind of thing, like what they were doing. It was
Oh goodness.
Definitely watch it. Report back. It's before Christmas.
I'll try to find it.
Yeah. They play it on. I've seen it on AMC a lot. That's like the only like film that they have from the Rankin and Bass collection, so they play it all the time.
Okay.
Oh
man.
It's worth it. It's worth a watch. It's worth a watch.
Okay.
All right, my last one is A Christmas Carol, but it's the one with Patrick Stewart, who plays Scrooge. I've seen, I don't know, like 5 or 6 different iterations of A Christmas Carol. To me, that's like the quintessential holiday like Christmas film to me. It is the one movie that I watch and it'll actually make me, like, I feel like a better person by the end of it, and I feel like I should go out and be a better person. I usually don't, but it makes me feel that way, you know? It's like the only holiday movie that actually puts me in like a Christmas spirit. But I just love the one with Patrick Stewart. I love Patrick Stewart as an actor, and I think he just does an amazing job as Scrooge, because he does a really good curmudgeon, but then he also has like that when he's actually like redeemed and he's like happy Scrooge, he has like this warmth to him that actually is like believable, I guess. Whereas I watched the one with George C. Scott, which is like my family's favorite Christmas Carol, and George C. Scott does a great angry curmudgeon Scrooge, but then when he's like redeemed, it's just like, no, you're still just kind of angry curmudgeon Scrooge. Like, that's just you in real life. So it's never quite like that arc is never really believable. But Patrick Stewart pulls it off. I love it. So yeah, that's like definitely the one like on my list that always puts me in like a Christmas spirit. Where the rest of them are just kind of like funny good times for me that are about the holidays, more like, I guess, social commentary. But this one's like a actual like Christmas film. So yeah. So to recap, my 4 were National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, A Christmas Story, White Christmas, and A Christmas Carol. Wow, all my movies have the word Christmas in them. Just now realized that. Interesting. Wade, what were your 4 again?
Let's see. I had Home Alone. I had The Muppets Christmas Carol. I had Jim Carrey's Grinch, and then The Nightmare Before Christmas.
And then Chelsea, what were your Criterion Collection films that you watch every year?
It's a Wonderful Life, The Santa Claus 2, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and Mickey's Magical Christmas, Snowed In at the House of Mouse.
Well, do you guys have any honorable mentions?
No, not really. I don't really have any I don't really have any like traditional Christmas movies that I watch. Or like growing up, we didn't really do that stuff. But there is some like newer ones that have come out recently that I haven't watched that I'd like to. Like what's it? Noel on Disney Plus.
Right.
I saw that.
And the Netflix has one. I think it's called Claws.
Dude, Claus is really good.
That's what I heard, and I don't know why I
Nice
haven't
animation.
seen it, but I'm sure I probably will sometime this week.
Yeah, that is, if anything, you could just watch it on mute, and it's just a gorgeous film. Like, the animation style is outstanding. But I actually like its unique story. It's pretty original. Yeah, that was... I watched it last year, and I was surprised. I wasn't expecting anything, so... But it was a really well done movie. I'm trying to think. I haven't really... I think the last... Besides Claus, the last modern Christmas film that I probably watched for the first time would, like, a couple years ago, I watched Krampus.
How was that?
It's actually really good.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah. It actually does have a positive message. The whole film is kind of just social commentary on the like commercialization and like capitalist kind of view on Christmas, and how it should just be more about just like the season and the togetherness and family and good vibes and that kind of thing, as opposed to like making sure you beat the crowds and buying a bunch of bullshit that you don't need. But yeah, it's most of the film is, you know, kind of like a horror movie, because they're being like hunted by Krampus.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, I was pleasantly surprised. It was actually a good time. It was actually a good movie. Some positive messages in there. So if you haven't seen it, definitely give it a watch. It's got some kind of cheese in it. Some of the effects, like they try and do like some practical effects, but they look pretty like pretty low budget, I guess. But I don't know. It didn't bother me. There's like a scene where like all these like Christmas present like toys like come to life, but they're like murderous. So there's like a fucking like teddy bear with like a mouthful of like razor sharp teeth, and then there's like murderous like gingerbread cookies and shit. It's it's interesting. It's not like a slasher film. Like I make it sound like it's like an hour and a half long slasher film with like 5 minutes of positivity. It's not. It's kind of like a horror comedy, uplifting kind of amalgamation of a film.
Sounds very unique.
It's different. Yeah, give it a watch. It's different. It's
Yeah,
different.
I would get on that.
Yeah.
So speaking of like your guys' traditions and childhoods and nostalgia and stuff, do you guys have any like memorable times in your life related to Christmas? And then like, I guess neither one of you guys watched Christmas movies apparently, but do you guys have any other kind of standout, like maybe tradition or a memory or something? Like you guys go, like you have like a certain like thing you do every year around the holidays. Like Chelsea, you mentioned like being a Broadway director or whatever, and feeding the homeless and shit. Like,
Being homeless is a good thing.
whatever.
It's important.
Whatever. What other Christmas memories do you have?
Well, I mean, my family is really big in celebrating Christmas in general, and I think like one of our big traditions is typically like as a family we get together on Christmas Eve, we eat dinner, and we actually open all of our presents, and then we go to church, and then in the morning we would have presents on Christmas Day from Santa.
So you get double presents.
Yeah, I guess so.
I need to go to your house for
Some could
Christmas.
say that.
Yeah, Christmas Eve. We never opened gifts on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve was more just kind of like, like we would have a family get together, but it was more of an excuse for like all the adults to just hang out and eat like hors d'oeuvres and drink, basically, and play like a variation of like White Elephant, or like one of those kind of like parlor Christmas games. But yeah, we never really like opened gifts. We when I was really young, we did that with my grandparents. A couple, we would open like a gift or two, but most of the time it was Christmas morning, like was saved for that kind of stuff. Do you have any particular gift you remember getting on Christmas that like stands out? Like you get like trying to think of something sarcastic.
Can't even do it.
I can't even do it. Did you get like a throne or something for you to sit in, or?
Ethan.
So you didn't get a throne. That's what you're saying.
You're a jerk.
I haven't finished watching all my I haven't finished watching all my Christmas films yet, so I'm not quite at that level of goodwill to man yet. So check back in a week.
Well, you said even after watching A Christmas Carol, it didn't help. So
that's true.
I don't know where that leaves us.
Lost cause. That's where it leaves you.
Well, I will answer your
right.
question, kind of. If you want to know, here's a really nerdy gift that I got quite a couple years ago, probably in college.
Love nerdy gifts.
I got RAM for my computer.
Oh,
what?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep, RAM. Mm-hmm.
That's about.
Upgraded that.
That's about as nerdy as it can get, I guess. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that, though. That's like adult nerdy. You know what I mean? That's like adult nerd gift. Getting RAM.
Yeah, that's how it is. I totally think there's a picture on my Instagram, to be honest. Of me holding my RAM for Christmas.
Very nice.
Nice.
Wade, what about you?
Nice.
You got any standout Christmas memories or anything?
Honestly, not really. Most of my Christmases growing up were pretty much the same. It was all pretty squarely on Christmas Day. We'd wake up, have breakfast, do presents, and then just go straight to my grandma's house, where the rest of the family would be. And it was the same. We'd have lunch, do presents, and then like everybody would just kind of like nap the rest of the afternoon because we'd be all like super filled up. And that was pretty much every single year, at least until I started working. And then I started working on Christmas Day every year. So I would do the same thing, but then that afternoon I would go to work. Regardless of where I worked, because it was mostly always theaters. But even when I worked at Walgreens, I would still work on Christmas Day. So. Yeah.
Did you guys ever have a traditional Christmas like dinner item? You know how like people Thanksgiving, there's obviously like turkey. So for Christmas, did you guys do turkey as well? Or are you guys a ham family? Order pizza?
No, so Thanksgiving was like the huge dinner with all the food. And then Christmas was like finger foods.
Yeah.
Like a little like fill up your plate with like some plethora of these items, Specifically, the item that we would fight over was the little pigs in blankets. Like the little the little sausages in like little mini croissants and stuff.
Yeah.
Those were precious. So me and my cousins
like
would,
blood diamonds at your Christmas
kind
party.
of. Yeah, me and my cousins, we would all stand at the table waiting for the food to be put out, and the second like the towel came off of the basket, no. The only rule was that you couldn't grab the basket and run. Otherwise, there was lots of slapped hands.
You can only grab what you can carry. You guys do the thing where you fold up the bottom of your shirt like a basket, and just dump them in there?
Absolutely. It's pretty vicious, yeah. So there was plenty of those made because we were such heathens about it. But yeah.
Chelsea, what about you? Do you have like a traditional food or like a nostalgic thing that you guys would make every year on the holidays?
I don't know. Not really. It kind of changed depending on the year. My mom would always cook something, though, and my mom's a great cook, so she always had something great to eat. But I feel like it's kind of mixed. Sometimes we would have ham, sometimes we'd have some turkey, or we would get Chinese takeout.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have either one of you ever had a turducken?
No.
Are you familiar with the concept?
Yes, but no, I've never had one.
I haven't either.
For better or worse.
I've just recently heard about this thing, so I was curious if I could find someone who's actually had one, because I'm still kind of curious about the whole how the thing is or how it's done. I guess like the physical nature of a turducken. So, but since you guys haven't had one, I'll have to keep searching.
I think it's like one inside of the other.
Yeah, it reminds me of those Russian dolls, but with like birds. So it's like a chicken shoved in a duck, and then a duck shoved in a turkey, or something like that.
Well, listeners, if you've had one, let us know.
Yeah, please. I want to see some photos of how this is presented at the dinner table.
Tag us on social media.
Yeah. I've also seen things turducken in a can. I can't imagine that being appetizing.
Oh God.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the three birds just in a blender, and then they just put that sludge in a can. But
that just sounds awful.
That just sounds like every fast food restaurant's chicken nuggets. So.
Oh, don't hate on chicken nuggets.
A food that I remember at my especially Christmas Eve, because like I said, it was all just kind of like Wade, kind of like yours, where it was just kind of like snacky foods, small trays of finger food and stuff. But there was one, it was Swedish meatballs. So it's essentially just like meatballs and like a milky white kind of gravy sauce. I never liked them, but it was a staple every single year that we'd have this giant crock pot just full of just milky meatballs. And this,
it sounds so appetizing.
Yeah. Like I said, I could never get down with them, but anytime I think of the holidays, I always automatically just think of that dish. So. But yeah, I can't think of any other. Like, we usually did, growing up, we usually did ham. We had turkey for Thanksgiving, and then we did ham for Christmas. That was pretty much the common order of operations, I guess. Holiday meal planning.
Yeah.
What about dessert?
Oh.
We were mostly like cookies and pies.
I don't remember.
Do you have a favorite?
For the holidays, I'm good with pumpkin pie. Just give me that, and I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, for Thanksgiving we had like pumpkin pie and pecan pie, but for Christmas I don't ever remember like desserts really. Like we bake cookies and like chocolate dipped pretzels and like more like treats, but I don't ever remember like pies or anything. Maybe a cheesecake now and again, but I don't remember. My sister's probably listening to this and yelling at me like I'm a fucking idiot. I don't remember such and such or whatever. But whatever. So I'm sorry. I'm also just not a big like sweets person, so that's probably another reason why I don't ever remember the dessert side, because that's like the least interesting part of a meal for me. So, like, give me the carbs. Give me all that bread. I just want to sit there and just eat bread the whole time. Like that's like my favorite
bread is
part.
Delicious.
Yeah, that's like my favorite thing about Thanksgiving and like any kind of big holidays. Like sitting there just like scarfing down dinner rolls by the dozen. Just get those like sheets of like those Hawaiian rolls and just like eat a sheet yourself.
Oh yeah,
that's what I look forward to. That's what I look forward to. I don't give a shit about pie. Like give me Give me those dinner rolls.
Oh, I love pie though. I love pie and cookies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really I like cookies, but like I can have like one, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like it's just.
That's enough of that for now.
Yeah.
That's like a whole separate meal for me.
Just sitting there eating cookies.
Yes, cookies.
Like
and pie,
I like
definitely.
I like pie. Like I like fruit pies, like apple and strawberry rhubarb and like peach and stuff like that. But I'm not really a big like pumpkin pie or pecan pie or like any of those like meringues or key lime or any of that kind of stuff. Like I'm not really big into that. Or like those like super like Oreo dessert cookie crumble, pies and crazy
Like
shit
dirt
like
cake?
that. Yeah, dirt cake. Yeah.
I freaking love dirt cake.
I just can't. It's such a fucking sugar rush. Like I feel like I just can't handle it, dude. I just.
Sounds like a personal problem to me.
Weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, what's a sugar rush? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have tolerance for like in excessive levels of sugar. I guess I have tolerance for excessive levels for other things, not sugar.
Yeah, I think you wouldn't do well with this pie that my family likes to make around the holidays, Derby pie. It's basically just chocolate, sugar, and like pecans.
Is it just like a pound of sprinkles that you just melt into a pan and eat it?
I mean, it's a pie. Yeah, pie crust and everything. It looks nice.
I mean, there's a pie crust.
No, it's a pie. It's not just like pudding. No, it's like some of the chocolate like chips and everything still hold their shape and everything, but they kind of melt in your mouth. You put some nice whipped cream on the top.
I do like whipped cream. I like coconut whipped cream though. I don't like regular whipped cream.
Get out.
Coconut or regular whipped cream's
Yeah.
too fucking sweet. Ugh.
Is it though?
Yeah, it's too sweet. I don't like it.
Is it?
Oh gosh.
When I think
So
of
weak.
Cool Whip, I don't think, oh, that's sweet.
No, it's not anymore.
Like, it's not an issue.
Yeah, I was never. Yeah, I don't just like open the tub of whipped cream and eat it with a spoon. Like it's like.
I never said that happens either.
Yeah, I was like,
When you put it on something, you're not like, oh, I need to sweeten this up. That's not like the point.
Yeah, I'm just.
But I get you, I guess.
yeah, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, I can only moderation with sweets, for me, definitely moderation.
Poor Ethan.
So misunderstood, apparently.
Like I like sweets, but I just don't sit there and just like, eat a fucking case of Chips Ahoy or whatever. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I'm still talking about the Cool Whip. I'm still stuck on that. That's
Yeah.
the only thing. That's all I'm thinking about.
Yeah, like when I eat pumpkin pie, like I put a dollop of coconut whipped cream on it, but I don't.
Why even bother, you know?
Why even bother?
Ooh.
Why even
As in-
bother? You're putting coconut whipped cream on it. Like, why? Why?
Well, this is really gonna blow your mind. I don't like regular cheesecake. I like vegan cheesecake because regular cheesecake's also too sweet.
I don't think I've ever had vegan cheesecake, but I love cheesecake.
Yeah, I like cheesecake, but I don't like regular cheesecake. I had it recently, and it was just like, I don't know. I must have like bad enamel or some shit because if I get too much sugar, I just like, it's the worst. I don't know.
Okay, we can't talk about sweets anymore. This is just depressing. Okay,
All right, well,
so I'm the person that brings a downer about movies. Ethan's about sweets.
Yeah, Wade, what are you a downer on? You hate Christmas music? You're the musician here. You must hate Christmas music.
No, not really. I don't have any issues. There are particular songs I find dreadfully annoying, and I wish they would die.
Which
Violent,
are?
Painful Deaths.
Do tell.
All I Want for Christmas Is You, top of the list.
Okay.
Yeah. It's mostly because just how often I have to hear it during the holiday season. It's not like once every few days. It's like all the time. Kids are like, "Can we have Christmas music?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Can it be all I want for Christmas is you? No. No. No, it can't. Thank you for asking.
Well, what's a Christmas song that you like?
My favorite Christmas song is "Oh Holy Night."
Okay, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I like the more like somber, melodic stuff.
Now,
Silent Night is fine.
Do you like it because you like listening to it, or do you like it from a musician side where you like playing it or like having your band play it or stuff? You know what I mean?
A little
You
bit
like
of
it?
both.
You like having it performed, or as opposed to just like you're sitting at your house and that's what you want to listen to?
Well, like it's like I find the melody to those songs to be particularly gripping.
Right.
So give it to me in any form.
Okay. Chelsea, what about you? Christmas music, hate it, love it, indifferent?
I absolutely love Christmas music. This is probably the time of the year I listen to the most music. For real.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
What
my
are
jam.
your go-to Christmas songs?
Oh, well, my top is "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year." It's my mom and I have this thing. The first person that hears that song, we have to immediately text that person, and we just have a fun little texting thing. Like, it's our song. It's just.
Do you guys
it's a
text the
great
lyrics
song.
back and forth?
No, we just normally text like the title and like emojis. I don't think we've gotten that.
Do you do the lyrics only with emojis?
No, I could do that. That could be fun, but it's just we enjoy hearing that song, and it's like our song, and it's just altogether great
All right.
Christmas song to kick things off.
Challenge. I want you to text me the entirety of that song to me in emojis.
Oh my gosh. I'll work on that.
The entirety of
Maybe
the
I'll just
song.
do a part of it.
Okay, okay. Maybe just do the chorus. How about that?
Okay.
I do games with my kids sometimes where like I have like these slideshows made, and they have to try to guess the name of the holiday songs based off of the emojis.
Ooh, yes.
I like that.
That's fun.
What about your what's a Christmas song that you hate, that you don't like?
Baby, it's cold outside.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For so many reasons.
See, even before people were trying to like get rid of it for it being a rather misogynistic song, I just found it dreadfully annoying. I was just like,
Oh, it's
Yeah, I mean, before we were all woke and cancel culture and all that stuff, I also just don't like any song where it's two people singing different parts of the song, whatever that's called. I'm sure there's a term for it, Wade. You can
it's
fill
so
in.
specific.
Yeah.
Ethan is not a call and response kind of guy. Noted.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like it. It's so yeah. I never really liked the song before everyone found out what it was about. So, but yeah, it is. Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's a pretty rough. It's a rough thing. What about what's another one that you just don't like that's actually not like actually a shit song? Like for those reasons.
I'd rather talk about more ones that we like. There's plenty to like.
All right, give me your top 3 that you like.
I don't know. I do like Mary Did You Know?
Mm-hmm.
The Pentatonic version's pretty cool.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I also kind of like Jingle Bell Rock a lot.
It's always, I love that's
It's a classic. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, there's definitely a lot of Christmas songs I do really like. There's probably only a handful that I absolutely would rather not listen to.
That's the handful I'm interested in.
No.
Is Santa
It's
Baby
positive
one of them?
vibes now. Oh gosh. I don't like that one either.
Is Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer? Is that one of them? I'm gonna guess.
It's
I'm gonna guess all of
it's
them.
just a meh.
Is it I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus? Is that one of them?
No, I don't really have super dislike for that.
Trying to think of another one that's just kind of not What's All I Want for Christmas? My Two Front Teeth. Is that one of them?
It's a song. It's whatever.
Dang.
That's a good time. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay. I like listening to Christmas music. I don't really listen to modern iterations of Christmas music. I like I guess what would be considered like the classics, like the golden oldie versions with like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Bing Crosby and like Rosemary Clooney and Judy Garland, like that. The stuff that they play in every grocery store for like 2 months straight.
Sure.
Like I actually like listening to that stuff. And I also really like just instrumental Christmas music. My favorite Christmas song is Carol of the Bells. Like I have Christmas songs that I don't like, but I don't really listen to, like, the stuff that I listen to, those don't really come up very often. So, like, the ones I basically all just listed with Chelsea, like, those are ones that just don't very often come into the Spotify playlist, you know? So, I also like listening to, like, Celtic or, like, Irish Christmas music. Anything that sounds like would be, like, being played in a pub on Christmas Eve, a bunch of drunk Irishmen singing. Like, I love that shit. So,
Nice.
But yeah, I like listening to Christmas music. This is the only time of the year I do it. I'm not like listening to this stuff in like March. You know, once December hits, I'll get it all out of my system, and then it's a year wait until I listen to it again. But yeah.
I feel that there are Christmas songs I probably would listen to, like in different times of the year, like just because I feel like singing it. But it would be like, for me.
You do Christmas in July, then it's open. It's open. You know, it's free market then.
You're right. You're dang right.
You can listen to Christmas music, and you can watch Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. It all comes back around.
Oh boy.
Do you guys have any other holiday stuff that you can think of that you want to talk about? Chelsea, all the great and amazing things you do during December.
Do not put that in a negative light.
No, that wasn't.
Do not be snarky.
I don't know if you wanted to get any what is it? Get any like an announcements, like, hey, I'm going to be here doing this at this time, you know.
No, COVID puts a damper on some things, but I mean, I can give an example of something I've done in the past. Is that what you really want to know? What I've done?
Is there anything
In
you've done
college.
this year so far?
Besides donating money? No, nothing specifically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Give me an example from the past.
Yeah. Well, in college, we had a college church group that I co-started, and we were really big into Operation Christmas Child, which is where you like do the shoebox and you fill it with items for children, and then they send them all around the world, and we did lots of shoeboxes.
Damn.
And got lots of items.
That's cool. What was that? What was that thing they did in Cape when we both worked at KFES? They had like that toy drive that was downtown. You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember the guy's name. It's like one guy put it on every year, and it was just like kind of that same deal. It was just like this huge toy drive thing that they did.
I don't know why I cannot remember the toy drive. I also remember Feed My Starving Children, which is where you pack food for children, like packages of like veggies, rice, and like soy protein, and like those packages are like multiple meals for children around the world.
I'm sure Wade will remember this from our theater days. Remember Can Day?
Oh, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. No.
Oh, Can Day.
Can Day.
Oh, no.
I was there bringing the cans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For those of you who don't know, Can Day at the theater that Wade and I worked at was a day that anybody could bring in 10 canned food items and get to see a free movie. And if they brought in an additional 10 cans, they got a ticket for another day. Is that how it worked?
Well, like you get a free ticket for bringing in 10 cans. I think it was just that.
All I know is that the entire population basically would come to the theater on that day, and it would just
those are like 16-hour days.
Yeah.
Those
I
are
cannot
god
imagine
awful.
for you guys.
It was it's horrible because not only is it like, well, we're just like working, it's like you're dealing with more customer service issues because people are trying to bring you their tin cans specifically. It's like, no, I just the ticket person, go away. And they're like throwing them at you like, I brought in my 10 tickets, 10 cans, give me my ticket. And I'm like, no. It's just like, it's a lot, and the lines are so long all day for every single show.
Yeah, basically every movie would sell out.
And they'd have to, and then the managers would always create more show times into the day. It's just,
it was a good
stressful.
cause. It was totally worth it. Totally worth it. That was how I saw it every time I had to work it.
I guess so.
I was there with my cans.
I thought you were going to talk about the time that we worked for Santa.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that.
That's what I thought you were going to talk about.
Oh, yeah. That's, deep cut, listeners. Wade and I dressed up as elves, and we're Santa's elves. And Santa was also Clayton, right? Who is also around our age, so it's not like it was some other, it wasn't like an actual more Santa figure. And yeah, we had to dress up in these really terrible elf costumes and just direct children to sit on this guy's lap all day.
And we were in these awful elf costumes that they didn't go down very far.
Yeah, it was basically like a tunic, but the tunic cut off right above the thigh.
Right above the thigh.
And then you just essentially were wearing green pantyhose.
Yeah.
And the shoes were not shoes. They were just cloth wrapped around your foot.
Yeah, they really were, yeah.
And we
were standing right in the front, so the doors would open and we would be freezing all day.
Yeah. You get that cold air right up there. Yeah, I had to do that. I had to do that 2 years in a row.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, because I did it with Cody the year before. Cody and I were elves. The only good thing about that is afterwards, our manager, Kevin, he took us to a bar and we just drank for an hour and then came back to work. But we were still dressed up as elves. Yeah.
Anyway.
Good times. Good Christmas memories there. Forgot all about that.
God.
I hope he still makes these poor kids dress up as elves.
Oh, God knows.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we will end this holiday episode with you guys visualizing
I'm gonna go drink now.
Yeah, if I still had a Facebook, I would try and find those photos, but...
There are not photos. Shut up. I'm pretty sure, anyway, there's no photos of me.
There's always photos.
I don't
They will come out.
They're floating around in the metaverse.
No. I'm pretty sure I was very active in making sure there was not any. Pretty sure, anyway.
Now I want to look.
You're a monster.
Gosh, that's too bad. I wish I still had my Facebook now. All that stuff's gone. It's all in Mark Zuckerberg's private cloud or whatever.
his own personal account.
Mm-hmm.
He just saves all the stuff just in case, he says.
He's like, look at these two guys dressed up as elves. I'll save this one. All right.
Anyway.
Chelsea's like, all right, guys.
Yeah,
Enough elf talk. Since you're ready to get out of here, Chelsea, you want to do the outro for the listeners here?
Sure. Well, hope everybody enjoyed our holiday episode. Thank you for listening. If you're not already subscribed, please do. And us with social media. We're at Pod Demastered on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And, if you also enjoy this podcast, please share it with a friend that you think might like listening to it. We would really appreciate that. And also, if you don't want to follow us on social media or want to send us something, you can email us at demasteredpodcast@gmail.com. And thanks again for listening. We hope you have a great holiday season. And tune in next week for our final episode of the year.
Ooh. Can't imagine what it's going to be about. Bye, everybody. Have a good holiday.